Sometimes, if you listen really hard, you can almost hear it.
Our first ever instant star is...
You're it, girl. You're the real thing.
That moment your life changes.
It's about a girl who is just about to fly off and see the world.
Forever.
Jude Harrison!
Hello and welcome to The Breakdown, an Instant Star Rewatch podcast. We are back for 2020-23 and yeah, as always, I am joined by my co-host, the lovely Sam.
And I'm here with the beautiful Chloe.
And today we are finally recapping Instant Star Season 2, Episode 207, Stranger in the House. I'm looking forward to this episode because I feel like Season 2 started off with this amazing bang. Like 201 and 202 had so much going for them. And even 203, I think, as well. But then, I don't know, like the 206, the last episode, was a bit meh for me. And
Yes.
I feel like the back end of Season 2 that we're about to recap is just some of the best episodes.
Mm-hmm.
So the original air date of 207 was the 7th of April, 2006. And my synopsis is: when Sadie dumps Tommy, Jude tries to reunite them when she finds out some interesting information about Tommy's past. What's yours?
Mine says, for once it seems Sadie and Jude are getting along, united and planning a big surprise disco bash for Mom's birthday. Then suspicious Sadie catches Tommy in a compromising position with another woman. Jude doesn't deserve it, but when new facts come to light, she's forced to make a decision. What's more important, her sister's happiness or the producer of her dreams?
Your synopsises are always way more detailed than mine. What did you think about this episode? Because when I went to watch it to make all my notes, I realized I didn't actually remember much about this episode.
Same here. Like, I just got done rewatching it. I was extremely late on this one.
Same.
Like, I was so far behind. I'm not in the swing of recording these and all that again yet. But I was like, a lot more happened than what I actually remembered happening.
Same. It's this drama-packed episode. I loved it.
Yes.
Like, I would go as far as to say, so far in Season 2, this is my favorite episode.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah.
Well, let's get into the recap, and then we will break down some of the interesting drama-filled scenes.
Okay. So the show opens to Quest, Portia, and Jude watching Sadie in her musical theater show with an empty seat next to him. Tommy slips in the seat just before the curtain closes and as the audience is clapping. Backstage, everyone is complimenting Sadie. When Tommy tries to, she tells him that his seat was empty the whole night she saw. Jude covers for him by giving Sadie her favorite flower and saying that she told Tommy they weren't worth going all over town for. The next morning, Victoria and Dawn leave for tennis, and the guards go over what they have so far for Victoria's party. Quest and Jamie talk Liam into letting them record Patsy. And then Speed and Jude work on a song till Tommy interrupts them. Tommy makes a dig at Quest about his producing style since Quest is so new to producing. And he also cancels dinner with Sadie because he has to work late. The next morning, the hot tub guy shows up way too early, so Jude and Sadie go to get decorations from G Major to try to hide it, where they find models and Quest asleep. Sadie goes to find Tommy when a woman comes out of Studio C in his jacket. Sadie accuses Tommy of cheating on her and tries to get Jude to leave with her. Jude doesn't believe Tommy cheated on Sadie and said, he's my producer and we're about to record. I think I'm going to stay. When she gets home, the house is decorated and they get a call from Victoria who says Dawn is taking her to New York. They cancel Victoria's party and throw their own. Jamie and Liam are online talking about what type of music Liam really likes and what he's really about. Sadie is later at the party. Sadie's talking to Portia about her broken heart, and Jude overhears, so she calls Tommy to come to the party. When Tommy is apologizing to Sadie, Portia is giving Jude a play-by-play of what he's given her, probably what he's saying, and everything like that. And she even gets Quest involved, who says, look, Tommy is Tommy. When Jude asks if she made a mistake. Liam and Jamie sneak into a concert. Jude goes up to Tommy and Sadie and tells them to leave her alone. After telling Tommy that he's supposed to be the one that she can trust, she ends up pushing him into the hot tub and pulls Sadie away. Things are tense and awkward when Jude records a fresh song for the second album, and then it closes with a suit of Sadie and Jude.
What an episode.
Yeah.
Where should we even begin? I mean,
Oh my God.
let's go back to the opening scene. So Sadie's doing her musical theatre performance, and
Yes.
Jude and Quest and Portia are all watching her, and then we realise that Tommy turns up right at the end. And Sadie tries to call him out for lying about being there the whole time, but Jude saves the day by giving Tommy the flowers she was going to give to Sadie.
Mm-hmm.
Do we think Jude should have covered for Tommy?
No.
I think it was an overly nice gesture.
Yeah, I mean, I think she was overly nice by doing it. I don't think I would have done it, but
I mean, if as her sister, she should have almost taken Sadie's side and been like, dude, like, where were you for the whole performance?
yeah. I mean, as much as I would want my sibling to be happy, I wouldn't so much want them to be happy by covering for the person who made them unhappy.
Yeah. It seems like an overly nice gesture when... Yeah, also I feel like this Sadie and Tommy kind of trouble in paradise, it's kind of been happening since 201, 202.
Yeah, it's been brewing for a while.
But then it kind of died down after that from memory.
Mm.
And now it's being stirred up again. So I don't know. I don't know if Jude was right to cover for Tommy. Maybe she just didn't want some drama scene backstage.
Yeah.
But then we're in the Harrison living room, and Jude and Sadie have to witness that Mom and Don PDA moment. And they're planning her mom's surprise birthday party. And I don't know, like let's discuss Jude's mom and Don, because again, I feel like this episode speeds up a lot of storylines that have been brewing, and then all of a sudden it's kind of fast tracking a lot of stuff, including Jude's mom and Don. Like, all of a sudden they seem very serious.
Yeah. Like, to me, it almost seemed like he's living there.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like all of a sudden they've gone from dating to maybe he's living there and taking her on surprise trips and not talking to her daughters about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like Don. He gives me creepy vibes.
He does give me creepy vibes.
But then we're at G major, and Jude and Speed are having a supposedly chemistry-filled moment recording their song. When Tommy interrupts, of course. And then I feel like Jude and Tommy have way better chemistry as soon as he's in the room.
Yes.
But he says something really interesting in this scene. So he asks Jude what her song is about. And she says it's a Dolly Parton inspired song about watching hopelessly as love falls apart. And Tommy then says, have you been spying on me and your sister after hours? And I was like, does he mean that his love is falling apart with Sadie? Or does he mean that they love listening to Dolly Parton songs? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know what you mean by that. But I also feel like a lot of things, like especially with that line, I feel like we're supposed to get the feeling that a lot of things are happening behind the scenes that we're not seeing.
Yeah. And it annoys me because then they get interrupted by Patsy recording. And I would have just loved to have seen that conversation play out a bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe it would have prevented the model drama bomb that happens in a few scenes.
Yes.
But I do love that Patsy is recording a demo, but Liam isn't so happy about it.
Yes.
And also Tommy isn't so happy about it. Like, I have a note. Did Tommy and Quest fall out prior to this episode? Because
it seems like it.
They're really antagonistic towards each other.
Like, I don't remember it, but it seems like they did.
It's crazy. I was like, whoa, where is this animosity coming from? It's weird. And then Sadie and Tommy Tommy's cancelling dinner with Sadie, and he asks
and
Quest,
the way she reacts, like, I got the feeling that this has been happening a lot, but this is the first time we're seeing it. So I'm like, again, is this something that's been happening off camera that we haven't seen?
Yeah.
I wish it was better explained.
Yeah, exactly. I think you're meant to fill in the gaps yourself and kind of, I think the good thing with good TV shows is they don't give you all of the information. You're meant to kind of make up your own mind about certain things, and that helps you tell the story a little bit yourself. But then Tommy's asking Quest to stay overtime. I'm like, you were just being really mean to him in a different studio.
Yes!
And now you guys are all cool again. So confusing. But that scene with Tommy and Sadie is re-brewing, if that's even a word, the trouble in paradise that we thought had kind of gone away. And then Jude goes to hide the hot tub at G Major with Sadie. And Sadie discovers a model wearing Tommy's jacket. And quite rightly, all hell breaks loose.
Yes.
I mean, Tommy promises that nothing happened. She doesn't believe him. And then Sadie says to Jude, come on, let's leave. And Jude, first of all, says Tommy wouldn't lie. And then refuses to leave with her sister, who, for all intents and purposes, just believes her boyfriend has cheated on her.
Yeah.
What do you think? Was Jude right to stick up for him and stay? Because I don't think she was.
No, I don't think she was.
Again, it's like you're Sadie's sister. You're meant to take her side regardless. But then what do we think? Did Tommy actually cheat?
I used to say no, but now I'm not so sure.
See, I used to say yes, but now I'm leaning more towards maybe he didn't. But I think we'll never know.
Yeah.
I think you're meant to feel like he did. Oh, I don't know. It's so confusing. I'd love to know what other people think. Maybe we should do a
I
poll.
know. Did Tommy cheat? Yes or no?
I feel like most people would say yes.
Yeah.
I think in that moment you're meant to feel like he did.
Mhm.
And I definitely think Jude was wrong for just saying he's my producer. I'm gonna stay. It's like, come on. This is another kind of instance where we see Jude's level of immaturity as well.
Mhm.
And I know that she's only 17, or she's not even 17 yet, 16.
But still, it's like at 16, you would think. I mean, that's your sister.
Yeah, exactly. Well, then Jude gets home and Sadie's set up for the party, and they realize their mum isn't even coming to the party because Jude forgot to tell Don. Which, again, I mean, I love that Sadie says, "You were such a disaster to Jude," and
Yes.
that kind of highlights the song title for this episode. But then the party is in full swing, and they uninvite all the oldsters, as they say, and everyone except Aunt Lynn doesn't come.
Yes.
And Jude overhears Sadie telling Portia how demolished she feels about Tommy. So Jude calls Tommy to come over, and he gives Jude this necklace to give to Sadie, and he seems really sincere. Do we think Tommy's actually being sincere? Or is he a cheater trying to cover up his cheating with expensive necklaces?
I think had it been anything other than what he had done with Portia in the past, he would have been sincere. But the fact that she was like pendant, gold, a charm, I'm like, I don't really think he's being sincere.
Yeah, so you think he's just trying to cover up cheating?
Mm.
Yeah. And again, we'll never know. Like he plays the wounded puppy dog look really well, but that's what
Yes.
seasoned cheaters can do really well.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. And then again, so Portia guesses exactly correct what the necklace is like, and we get to see a little bit of her past with Tommy. And then she pulls Quest into the discussion, and Quest just kind of says, "Well, Tommy will always be Tommy." It's like, what does that mean? So
Mm.
is Quest confirming that Tommy's always been a cheater? Is Portia just mad at her own history, or is she telling the truth? It's hard to tell.
That is hard to tell. I mean, I think it's a little bit of both, just because we do know what comes later
Yeah.
and just how far it goes.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I do think Tommy was in the wrong.
I mean, even if he didn't cheat, he shouldn't have let a model sleep in his studio space and wear his jacket.
But yeah,
So regardless if he actually did anything, he shouldn't have let that happen in the first place.
exactly.
So, but I love how the song performance of this episode plays over all of that scene, because it just shows what a natural disaster Sadie and Tommy are.
Mm.
And then something else I love about this episode is the Liam and Jamie bonding. I really
Yes!
like all of these scenes are just amazing. And
Yes.
I love that we get to see a different side of Liam. He's not just this stuffy G major executive. And then we get to the dramatic, nearly end scene with the hot tub pushing. I mean, so Jude and Tommy have made up, and Jude storms in and calls Tommy a liar, and Sadie's like, "What? We've just made up." And she pushes him in the hot tub.
The hot tub.
Classic scene.
Yes.
And I just love Alex's acting in that. She seems so genuinely upset at Tommy.
Mhm.
And then the next day, Tommy just won't speak to Jude. And she does apologize for the hot tub, but not the rest.
Yeah.
I mean, I can understand Tommy being mad. If someone pushed me in a hot tub, I'd be mad too. But I also feel like
I
maybe
think
he's
Tommy's just being a baby right now.
well, maybe he's also mad because he didn't cheat and now Jude doesn't believe him.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We're not meant to know all of the information. What an episode.
An episode.
I do like that the end of the episode ends with Jude and Sadie just together.
Yes.
Because it shows they've been divided this whole episode and now they're finally united again.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if Sadie kept the necklace. I've kept things from ex-boyfriends, like jewelry and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, that was the episode. I mean, amazing episode. I loved it. It was jam-packed.
Mm-hmm.
What was your episode theme?
Trust and trust in yourself.
Same, I had trust as well. We've got all these different people who either trust people they shouldn't or aren't trusting each other in relationships, and it's just a mess.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get into our likes and dislikes. What were your likes?
I love the freaking wardrobe in this episode. Like the outfits were killer. And
Yeah,
I like the hair.
Hair was good. I loved Tommy's green jacket as well for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, loved all of it.
Yes. And I just there was like an overall just like feeling to the episode that it was so filled with drama, but like it wasn't so overwhelming.
That's what I like about Instant Star. When they do drama-filled episodes, it's not over the top,
Yeah.
but it's enough to be like, oh my god, that was amazing.
Yes.
Yeah. Was that all your likes?
Mm-hmm.
I had a few. So, to me, this is Jamie's best episode.
Yeah.
It has his best lines. It has the best acting by Christopher Turner. Everything Jamie says in this episode is hilarious. And I loved his kind of B storyline that we got to see. It was great. I love how Sadie says you're a complete disaster to Jude, and that's kind of a nod to the episode song. Like you, I love like the 70s outfits for the party. It was just amazing. Aunt Lynn in the hot tub with Quest feeding him pie. I was just like, wow.
I'm like, okay, Aunt Lynn.
I also love how they lit the bedroom scene with Tommy and Sadie, where you can just see the shadows. I thought that was really well done. And I do love Portia's realism about Tommy, even if she's not correct anymore. It's coming from a place of truth because she lived it herself.
Yeah.
What were your dislikes?
It wasn't so much Portia's realism, it was her inserting herself. And she does this quite a bit, especially when Tommy's involved. To insert herself and make her comments known to everyone around her is listening.
Yeah, she's very good at telling Sadie how to manage her relationship with Tommy.
Yeah.
Like when she says, it's a good thing you didn't need something that required antibiotics. I was like, oof. Like,
I'm like, that's low.
yeah, like, okay, maybe, again, like she's coming from a place of truth, but also they were together so long ago, people can change.
Yeah. And then,
like if someone told me that about my boyfriend, I'd be like, ew, like, thanks, but
yeah,
don't need your advice all the time.
Um, that was really it.
Yeah, I only had two, so my first dislike was just Jude and Speed as a couple. We didn't even have that much of them this episode. I'm ready for them to go back to being like brother and sister relationship.
Yes.
Which is funny because they're not even really throwing it in our face that much, but I don't like it. And I also didn't like the hot and cold of characters in this episode. It felt a bit disjointed, like Tommy and Quest fighting in the studio with Patsy, but then being cool again in the next scene, and even Tommy and Sadie being fine and then not and then fine. It was just, if it had just been the Tommy and Sadie hot and cold, it would have been
Had
okay.
it just been one, okay, but it was like everybody.
Like the Tommy and Quest thing, I was like, that's just a bit weird to throw that in there as well without much of a backstory. But otherwise, almost flawless episode.
Yes.
What was your chemistry, Cam?
My chemistry cam was. Um, it was actually when Jude said she was gonna stay as
Oh,
she
really?
made her with Tommy. Yeah.
That's interesting. Can you explain why?
Just because, like, I knew she was wrong, but like the tone of her voice, the look on her face, and I'm like, that says so much about Jude, but it also says so much about her relationship with Tommy.
Yeah, it shows that she trusts him so much that,
Yeah.
or cares about him so much that she trusts him so much because of that. Yeah, I found it really hard.
Go ahead.
Oh, I found it so hard to pick a chemistry cam moment that I ended up going with the Sadie and Tommy shadow scene in the bedroom, just because even if they're not good together, they do have. I thought that scene had a lot of chemistry, even more so because you couldn't hear what they were saying. You couldn't even really see them. It was just two shadows.
I like that better.
I like your one is interesting. I hadn't even thought about that. It makes it more heartbreaking because then Jude stops trusting him. Yeah. Oh, which one should we pick? I don't know. I feel like you could argue that mine isn't really very chemistry filled because you can't really see it or you can't hear anything that's going on. But I don't know. You pick.
I'm not picking. We can go with mine on this one, and then when we have a tie later, we'll go with yours.
Okay.
Because I'm sure we'll have a tie coming up.
Yes. Okay, well, let's get into our what the fuck moments. Did you have any?
Who gets deliveries at 6 a.m.?
If you live in Australia, you do. Everyone wakes up early.
Oh my gosh. That would drive me crazy.
Life begins at like at least 6 a.m. here for people, maybe 5 even.
Oh God, no.
You get used to it after a few years. Honestly, like if you sleep in on a weekend, you'll get the doorbell ringing at like 6:30 a.m. It's like, no. Was that your only one? I had a few actually. Where are Sadie's mum and dad? Why are they not watching her performance at the beginning?
Very true.
Is Jamie really the new A&R guy at G Major? Or is he just Liam's errand boy? Just doing all his laundry. This is an interesting one. When Sadie and Jude get to G Major with the hot tub and they see all the models, Sadie says at least Tom was out of range, meaning from the models. But they were at G Major and he was working overtime, so he definitely was not out of range.
Yeah.
I was like, is that a slip up in the script department, or is it
I
something
think
I'm
it
missing?
was.
Like, he's not out of range, he's in the studio, like the next room. And then Jude pushes Tommy in the hot tub because she doesn't believe him anymore. And then the end scene, we see Sadie and Tommy are done again. Obviously, they've broken up, but we didn't see the bit in between. Like, Jude pushes him in the hot tub, and then they're broken up again, just like that. Like,
We didn't see the actual breakup.
yeah, we don't see Sadie being like, oh, I don't believe you anymore again. Oh, well. I'm interested to see who your heroes and villains are, because I struggled.
I struggled. I really struggled. I didn't even pick one because I just struggled.
I made myself, so my hero was Jamie, because he gave them,
That was good.
yeah, well, he gave them access to G Major to hide the hot tub,
Yeah.
and that's how they found the whole Tommy thing. Then my villain was Jude.
I
She
can
just
see
blew,
that.
she blew hot and cold for Tommy this whole episode.
Yeah.
And yeah, and she blew hot and cold for Sadie as well, her own sister.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I really struggled to choose any of those categories, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's get into our song review for Natural Disaster. I love this song.
Yes.
How many instant stars did you give it?
Just because I love the song, I gave it 7.
Oh, I beat you. I gave it 8. So we'll go with a
We'll give it
7.5. I love the song. Do you think that Jude wrote the song about Tommy and Sadie?
I don't think so.
I was just trying to see where it fit in Jude's own life.
Yeah, but see, I think if she wrote about anybody, she wrote about her parents.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Wow, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, I love it. It's just such a pretty song. And I love the kind of country-esque vibe that it gives as well.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, did you have anything for pop culture?
Mm-mm.
There was so much in this episode. I swear I had to pause it every few
I
seconds.
know. There was so much, but I was like, every time I tried to catch one, it was like another one and another.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm done.
Yeah. Well, the episode title, Stranger in the House, is a 1985 song by Rick Springfield, which I've never actually heard. I should probably listen to it. Jude says some things just belong together, like Sid and Nancy. And Sid and Nancy were an iconically tumultuous, if that's the word you want to use, couple. Sid Vicious, obviously, the bassist for the Sex Pistols, and his girlfriend was Nancy. And so many iconic films and TV shows have been made about them as a couple. Not saying they were a healthy couple, but they were a couple. Sadie says, why would we suddenly become Little House on the Prairie this weekend? I struggled to kind of get the reference for this. So obviously Little House on the Prairie is a series of children's novels and also became a TV series.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get the reference to like having a big house party. I haven't read the books or seen the TV series, so I don't know.
Well, it's like very wholesome and the family's always together.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah, okay. I should probably read the books. They're iconic. Jude says about her song that it's just a Dolly Parton-esque ditty. And I mean, I don't even have to explain who Dolly Parton is. She's one of, if not the most iconic country artist ever, who writes beautiful songs. Jamie says that they're trying to channel the Grace Slick era. And this is interesting. Grace Slick, I'd never really heard of her. She was an American painter, but also a retired singer-songwriter, and was a key figure in the early psychedelic music scene in the 1960s. And then Liam counter-argues and says, you could be channeling Grace Kelly for all I care. And Grace Kelly was an American actress who starred in several significant films in the 1950s. And then the last one I have is Sadie saying, Tommy here has been holding his own private auditions for America's Next Top Model. And again, I've never watched America's Next Top Model, but it's this TV series where aspiring models compete against each other to win career opportunities in the modeling industry. There was a lot in this episode.
Yes.
I'm interested to see what your favorite quote was.
It's not really a favorite quote, it's more of like a favorite scene.
Okay.
But like right before Jude pushes Tommy in the hot tub, you're the one I was supposed to be able to trust and believe and all that.
Yeah. You're the one I was supposed to trust in or believe in. Yeah, that's a good one. Mine, again, I struggled. There's some episodes where they have such iconic quotes and I really struggled. So I chose what Sadie says at the end, where she's looking at the necklace and she says, he used to be a poster on my wall. I was literally dating the man of my dreams.
That was a good one. I went back and forth between that one and the one I ended up picking.
Because it kind of ends the Tommy and Sadie relationship quite well. Like, you could even make like a montage of all of their dating history to that quote. It would be amazing. What was your hashtag iconic?
I gotta say, when she pushes him in the hot tub.
That's what I had as well. Yeah, there was really no other iconic scene than that.
No.
It's epic. It might be the most iconic scene of the season.
Yes.
Okay, time to spin a wheel for most likely to. Who is most likely to accidentally send a text that was intended for someone else? Jamie.
Yeah.
I can just see him like accidentally sending the wrong text to someone and then panicking about it.
Yes.
Amazing. Well, it's time to rate our episode. How many instant stars did you give 207?
8.
Same. Oh my god, we're aligned. Yeah, I gave it 8 as well. It was almost flawless. It was amazing.
Yes.
Best episode of season 2 so far.
Yes.
Well, that was our recap of 207. We're back in full swing now. Thank you for your patience while we had many weeks off. Next week, we will be recapping episode 208, which I also really don't remember much of either. We shall see. But thank you always for listening, and we will see you next week. Bye!
Bye!
Thank you for listening to The Breakdown, an Instant Star Rewatch podcast. The Breakdown was produced by me, Chloe, and Neon Network Production. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and listen to all episodes of The Breakdown on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. See you next time.